TV, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Time for Lori Hayes, who is standing by in our green room. We are recording, streaming, and bumper running, chat room waiting. Everything's ready. Let's start a countdown to Studio 13. Well, good evening and welcome to PJNet.tv. I'm your host, Coach Prasic, and it is that time. We celebrate that on, what is this, the second Wednesday, I believe, of the month. Once a month. Lori Hayes is with us, so before I mess up any further, I'll just bring her on screen. Hey, Lori, it's so good to have you come visit us once a month and share, and I saw your post on Facebook and climbing mountains, and I presume that you had some inspiration that brought you to the point of saying that. So what's on your mind climbing mountain wise?
I was just thinking back to last year at this time, and I was hoping to serve with my church, and we were at a community event serving Thanksgiving dinner, and I hadn't eaten, and I didn't have a job, and food was kind of hard to come by. It was mostly going to my children, and I was so hungry, and my pastor found out about it. Instead of letting me serve, he made me eat. And then when I left, they packed me up a bunch of food and sent it home with me. So I was just thinking back, and I'm so grateful. For this year, I have a job, and I'm doing so much better, and I have food to eat and my own Thanksgiving dinner. We celebrated just with my kids, but I actually had a 19-pound turkey for 2 kids and me. So that's a lot of turkey.
That indeed is a lot of turkey. And that was only a year ago.
Only a year ago. And I really faced a huge mountain in my way. And I either had to have that mountain removed, or I had to learn how to climb that mountain and believe that I could actually get to the top. And that just reminds me of Matthew 17:20, where it says, "And he said to them, because of the littleness of your faith, for truly I say to you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible to you." And honestly, that is so true for me. And I did so much praying and believing, and I made it through. I'm not saying that I won't have any more difficult spots. Of course, we all do. But boy, I was really being tested that year, and it was really scary. But I'm in such a different place now than I was back then, and I was just being thankful and grateful to where I am right now. And I guess I just want to give people hope that when you're facing a huge, big mountain, you can get through it. And, you know, even if it's a mountain that is a difficult mountain, or, you know, even with all the COVID going on, some people are facing a COVID mountain. But sometimes a mountain can even be that you just want to climb it and rest at the top and just relish in the beautiful view. And that's okay too. It's still a mountain. And you still have to learn either how to climb it or how to move it, you know, or have to believe that it can be moved, and to never lose sight of that. And sometimes it's not in our timing, and we have to wait and we have to be patient, because that was the case last year. I had prayed and prayed and prayed, and that mountain was solid and it was not moving at all. And I just had to keep believing that it's just not the right timing yet. And even this year, I was blessed with a 2-book deal. And, you know, that is amazing, because I've been striving for that for a while now. And I finally, that blessing was given to me. And, you know, just the comparison. But, you know, whether you need the mountain moved or not, you have to do your part, and then you have to let it go and let the resistance go, and then sit back and let God do the rest of the work.
I remember so well.
That was
Just
my
last
lesson.
week, we were discussing with JD on his program. You know, in the valleys is when you grow. You know, you said you were
Yeah.
praying fervently, and sometimes I've found myself in that situation, and you cling to a verse. I did, Jeremiah 29:11, and you're hanging on with, I mean, bloody fingers and white knuckles. But it's a test of faith. But we really grow, and the challenge is, speaking of JD, I saw another post, and I think he had reshared it, but this one really moved me. What if you woke up today having only those things you thanked God for yesterday? When we come out of the mountain, the view is nice, you know, and those are joy, victorious moments. But two observations. One is, let's not forget the God that brought us up that mountain. Okay, and number
Yes.
two, no emotion, whether you're happy or sad, grieving or joyous, is permanent. You can't stay mad very long. You can try your best. You can't. And you can't stay happy very long. So life is, in effect, a roller coaster emotionally. And I think that should not impact our relationship with God, because he doesn't change in his relationship with us. That's for sure.
You know, even in those low times, I still every day try to find things I was grateful for and be thankful for. I think that was really important, and that really helped me. And it just helps to focus on the positive as opposed to, oh gosh, poor pitiful me. I felt like that was one of the biggest things that I kind of clung to during that time. And even now, let's say I'm sitting on top of the mountain and I'm looking at the view, I'm still going to be grateful for that, and I'm still going to be thankful, because I do think that makes a difference. We don't just need to pray to God when we're down, we also need to pray to him when we're up.
There you go. Exactly, Lori. I'm proud of you. I can remember reading a post from you that you were expressing exceeding joy a few months back that you were able to walk to the mailbox and back. Remember that?
Oh, I'll never forget that. Yes. That was really something.
Well,
I really had to stop 3 times on my way up my little hill back to my house, and I had to take a 2.5-hour nap because I walked to the mailbox. And that was thanks to probably COVID. I was actually never tested for that, but yes.
Well, and you were working before that in the healthcare industry, and to come down with something like that, you can't work. Period.
No, I was out for a month.
Yeah, period. I mean,
yeah.
I don't want anybody, if I'm ill, I don't want anybody tending to me that's ill. And, you know,
Yeah.
I could probably work ill here. You know, I mean, if you're running a fever, so what? You know, throwing up here, I got a bucket right, you know, I can turn this camera off long enough to.
And that was the same thing. I never got a fever. So,
Really?
but I still couldn't have passed. I have to go through about a 10-minute process to get into my building that I work in. I work in senior living. And, you know, but some of the questions are, you know, do you have shortness of breath? The new onset of shortness of breath. Are you, do you have a headache? You know, all these symptoms I would have never passed even though I didn't have a fever. And you just have to also hope that people are being honest when they fill those out.
Yeah. Laura, let me take a brief moment. We'll make sure you don't lose any time. If you are watching this on social media, we invite you to join the Warm Fellowship at the pjnet.tv chat room. The same video is playing there. You can see the people logged into the chat room now, and it is just a wonderful fellowship. And we want to make sure that you know that you're invited to come join the PJNet family. Lori, I can also remember your stories. You know, I'm put the horses on here kind of in your honor. But I was thinking about you the other day. I thought, it's cold out there. There ain't no going to the beach. What are you doing?
No, I go to the beach in the winter. That's my favorite time.
You're not
when there's
truly out
nobody
there
there.
slugging through the damp, swampy island to chase
no.
horse. You're not, are you?
No,
Please
I'm
tell
in
me.
the warm house looking at the view with the door open and the heater turned on and I'm writing. And usually there's nobody there, so it's quiet and it's wonderful. And it's not hot and there are no bugs.
Well, no bugs. That is not Florida.
So
You know,
no bugs.
in the dead of winter, we have. Well, the funny thing is, in the summer we have the mosquitoes outside, and the varmint. But in the winter, all those things that live outside, cockroaches, field mice, and all, well, they come find shelter, like in the eagle's nest. I just had the exterminator come by last week because, I won't tell you the gross story, but you mentioned you have 2 book contracts. And you were really burning the candle at both ends, trying to finish up the edits of that. Where are things on that?
Let's see. The first story that I really busted my tail to get finished in 3 months, I rewrote the whole thing. I sent that in, and a couple weeks after that, I got my edits back. And I got about a 2-week deadline to redo the edits, but some of them were actual some of them were scenes or threads that were through the book, so it wasn't just going through and editing a few words. So I'm at my 2 weeks, but I had just asked her, I said, I know we're under a crunch and I have something important going on else, like in my life besides this, that was really important to me. And so I know that we're under a crunch. I promise that, I'm working on this and I will get it to you as fast as possible. And she said, oh yeah, no problem. Thanks. So, but it did pull me off of the book that is due January 25th. So I have to hurry up and finish these edits, which I'm actually almost finished with. And then I can get back onto that story, which I was really hoping to have done before Christmas because I'd like to just not worry about it, but I don't think that's going to happen. So,
well, Lori, it's tough walking that tightrope because anybody who's had success, you listen to their stories, they tell you hear things like you've got to stay laser focused. And they're telling you the truth. They're giving you good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. But can't you take that too far? It's Christmas. It's time for Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. There's family. There's your health. I can, double down and get real focused to the exclusion of everything else.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, you got to live, and it's tough sometimes, especially when you're engaged in a solitary enterprise such as writing. I'm not a writer, but I write software. I work alone, basically. And it's very easy to get and stay focused and forget there are other priorities. And you get too much to do, and you start to melt down. Anxiety starts to creep in. Sounds like you're managing that pretty well, though.
So time management is one of my skills. I excel at that, thank goodness. But I also prioritize my children first over my job and my writing, everything, except for God. And I think that it's important to give them my undivided attention while they're teenagers. So whenever they bless me with their attention and their focus, I give my focus to them. But I do set my alarm early. I get up about 6 or 6:15 every morning. I don't have to be at work until 9. Oh, okay. So I get ready for work, and then I do spend some time writing. Oftentimes, I work at 2 different facilities. In one facility, I have time to write. So I bring my computer, and I work on it at lunchtime or, a printout so I can edit, however I need to do it. And then when I get home at night, they're teenagers, so they spend copious amounts of time in the room. So when they're in the room, I can sit here and I can write, but I still cook dinner every night. I don't buy processed things or fast food. So I always make sure that I cook for them. We eat together, we talk.
Oh, good for you.
And then when they disappear in their rooms, then that's my time where I can sit and I can write some more at night. So, and then I only have them every other weekend, so I have those weekends to actually, my off weekends that I actually write. And I do like to go to the beach. That's sort of, it feeds my soul and the words come to me. So I do try to do that. I can just get away and it's quiet and I can focus. But I do spend some time with my friends. I do spend some time on the phone. I try to balance my life as much as I can. It probably tips into the side of writing and work. But I do try to have that balance whenever I can.
Okay. I'm checking the time because Michelle Medlock Adams has joined us in the green room. You all can't see her, so don't be alarmed, Lori. That's Michelle. And she's coming up in just a few minutes, folks. Don't go away. But Lori Hayes is with us now. Now, Lori, you said something that means a lot to me is, you prepare, meals consciously and plan and try to not just, And I love it when right now I'm doing this what I call lumberjacking. It's removing trees. And it's hard work. But one of the things tomorrow morning is that one of the mornings I wake up and I'm going to, eat a hearty breakfast. I went to the store earlier and, you've got to find balance. Because if you don't, first of all, what's the point of living? If you're under the gun all the time, and if you are totally focused on something, well, who's driving your vehicle? Who's driving you? Are you driving you? Mm-hmm. Or is somebody putting pressure on you to get something done? It sounds like, now let me ask you this. You're pretty comfortable with the way you're doing that. Are the people who are putting pressure on you to do things equally as comfortable with you?
I have to admit, when I saw the 2-week deadline, I got really stressed out. And I thought, you know what? I want to enjoy what I'm doing and I need to not feel that emotion. So when I reached back out to her, I just acknowledged, I know we're under a crunch and I know that this needs to be turned in as fast as possible. And I've already read through the whole thing once and I have done the simple edits and I'm going to get this to you as fast as possible. That way she knew I was working on it. And so she was fine with it. But then I could take that pressure off of me and just enjoy what I'm doing, because one of the biggest things that I live by is I try to have joy in everything that I'm doing. And if I feel stressed, I find a way to turn that around and enjoy it, because I don't want to live a stressed out life. I want to live a joyful life.
Well, Lori,
so sometimes it's just revamping the way you're thinking.
You're speaking with a great deal of maturity. And,
thank you.
A lot of people don't reach that. Well, they never reach it. It took me, I was a little older than you. When I was your age, I was laser focused on my career, and it was working well. It really was. But at the expense of so many other things that if I had it to do over again, I would certainly prioritize other things. And it turns out that the thing I prioritized wasn't all it was all it was made out to be. From the beginning. I am so tempted to replace the imagery behind me with Michelle in the green room, because she's doing her lipstick and makeup and and just not tell her,
Oh, that's me? You better smile, Michelle.
We have so much fun. And Lori, we don't know yet, but we're a little up in the air about next month. You did have you're on a little bit of a schedule with your edits, and the holidays are in the way. But folks, will keep you up to date. Whatever happens, she's not leaving. We're not letting her go. She's under an ironclad contract, and we have lawyers and such, and we have. Oh, Lori, I guess we won't see you until next year. Merry Christmas, Lori, and thank you for sharing not only joy, but hope. Folks, I know, and I've said it before, but I think it bears repeating. This is the time of year that can be very hard on people. And you were recalling just a year ago how hard it was then. But when you were telling that story, it was others that helped you through that. It was your church, it was your pastor, it was your friends. Folks, don't lose hope. And if you are blessed and find that person, it may not be a homeless person on the street. It might be somebody, we don't talk about how we're hurting. We tend to suffer silently.
Yes.
And folks, keep your radar up for the hurting people. Because Lori, you've, well, put it this way, Lori, I implore you to pay that forward. How's that? Is that a good challenge?
I definitely will. And you never know the battles other people are fighting. So always be kind. I know we hear that all the time, but it's true.
Well put, Lori. And you are a kind and wonderful, sweet person. We are very blessed to have you
Thank
here
you.
on the PJ Net team. And we'll see you next year. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
All right, folks, there you have Lori Hayes, who appeared. Now, look on the screen, folks. That is a live view of the pjnet.tv chat room. Folks, this is the best kept secret on the internet. And I invite you to join us at pjnet.tv at your earliest convenience. Now, folks, before I introduce Michelle Medlock Adams in just a few moments at the bottom of the hour, I would like to ask you to challenge yourself with 2 questions. First, what is the boldest thing that you have ever done for Jesus Christ? Number 2, how long ago was that? Maybe being bold is just being kind to someone who's hurting this season. But I hope that none of us will be satisfied with our answer to either of those 2 questions.